You got the little zoo. Going to McKinley Tech, being around the music scene, and then I went to Howard and got my education there for 4 years, and I was around a lot of people musically there up at Howard. So then after Howard, you know, knowing Max Kidd, I was going to Howard, I got involved with Alan the Kid, as I am today. And Max used to distribute records, used to promote concerts, make sure posters were up. He used to have the Black Music Association convention every year at the Hyatt on New Jersey Avenue. And I mean, George Clinton, James Brown, Phyllis Hyman, Smokey Robinson, they all came through. Gamble and Huff. I mean, so that was really next level introduction for me into the business.
Well, most people know Max just for go-go. So you're saying that he was involved in the whole black music culture within itself.
Exactly. I mean, him and Chuck. I mean, Max started in the 60s when Barry Gordy's ex-wife moved to D.C. and started a record label.
What label was that?
Shrine.
Shrine.
Right.
Okay.
They did like 20-something singles.
Okay.
So Max, Kenny St. Louis, who wrote Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel, Boogie Down, Fever, and all that, he moved to California. Max, Kenny, Sidney Hall, and a few others were really the basis of that sound. So Max started out in the 60s. And so when he met Chuck in 70, 71, it was Chuck, fresh coming out of the setup, ready to get down, and he was doing his thing, and they clicked, you know, and then Blow Your Whistle, and that whole first album, was it Salt of the Earth?
Salt of the Earth, yeah.
Right, Max and Chuck, they really kicked off the movement. I don't think they could have did without each other. And that's what Chuck and I used to talk about because, you know, like Muhammad Ali needed Joe Frazier.
Right.
Frazier needed Ali. So, I mean, they needed each other. And even though they clashed a lot because they were both strong-willed, the pieces they put together, We Need Some Money, Blow Your Whistle. I mean, I was a kid, as you were. That whole summer, 2, 3, 4, everybody was blowing their whistles riding around town, going to the festivals and funk shows and the go-go's, you know. So they were both icons, man, and I'm just glad to be a part of what they've done over the years. Well,
you made mention of Alan the Kid, and for those who may not be familiar, that was a label. But well, before I go deep on the label situation in the DC area, tell everybody, you know, give a little bit more information about Alan the Kid.
Okay, Alan the Kid was a promotion company started by Al Jefferson and Carl Max Kidd. Alan the Kid. They had an office on Thomas Circle, and
for those that don't know, that's DuPont.
DuPont, yeah, right. Downtown, it's totally different now.
Right.
Al Jefferson was a well-known radio DJ host, and he also hosted a show, the first like American Bandstand in D.C. in the 50s. I forgot the name of it now. But
what station was he on?
He was on television and radio.
No. You said what radio station? Yeah.
Okay, he was on Baltimore, and he was on, I believe, OL.
Okay, WOL.
Yeah, right. And so he had connections in radio. So when he hooked up with Max, they had the connections, and they formed Alan the Kid. So Alan the Kid bought in concerts like Philly International, Capitol Records, Elektra. So all the artists they knew because they were in radio. So they bring them in, do the tour dates. So naturally, when Chuck was ready to get out there, they had avenues, national. So they can do their things locally, they can do it regional, they can do it national because they had the thing. So Alan the Kid was going back and forth, in town, out of town, distributing records, putting groups out.
So basically, they laid the foundation for go-go to have avenues outside of this area.
Exactly. And so as you know, Trouble's first records was on Alan the Kid. E-flat Boogie, a few others, and that's when they were just known as Trouble. You know?
Right.
And then, you know, so it was an R&B groove, it was a go-go groove, because as you know, at the same time, go-go went from being a place and an event to a style of music.
Right.
So Chuck and Trouble was right there on that bridge, you know, making it happen. And so it was all happening on multiple levels at the same time, mid-70s, early 70s through the early 79, 80, 81.
So for those our listeners, first of all, let me reintroduce you. We got my main man Ollie Brown here from. Who you representing Alan the Kid today?
Exactly.
Okay,
right.
because he wears several hats.
Yeah, exactly.
He wears several hats. But you tuned into the GoWin Radio Show right here on GoGo Radio Live, Win DC Radio, all wrapped up in GoWin.media, coming to you live from the shops at Iverson. And Ali right here, man, like I said, he's a historian in his own right in the DC music scene. But Ali, I want to refer back to the record label situation and how many labels did you know of back in the day that was established right here in the DC metropolitan area?
It was only a few. You know, there was Alan the Kid, but then they all blossomed. Starplex, Stratus, let's see, Washington Hitmakers, Trouble started their own label, Det, and then it was TTED. So you had 5 to 10 labels.
So let's touch that right there.
Go ahead.
All right. So you had DETT,
right,
and TTED.
Right.
So let's clarify that for those who, because a lot of you that may be record collectors may have seen those two labels and try to differentiate what was going on with that right there. So clarify that picture for those.
Right. I believe Det was determination, education, talent, and trust. And TTED was the same words in reverse. I believe Det was started by Tony and rest in peace.
Dyke,
right.
Yeah.
Dyke.
Robert Fish.
That's right, Dyke, who was the main brainchild.
Robert Reed, I'm sorry.
Robert Reed, Dyke,
Yeah.
right. So I believe Det was started by Trouble, Dyke, and Tony. And then Max started TTED, and TTED used to distribute Det.
Well, was there one in front of the other?
At times, see, because
How many far it started?
I think Det.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
pretty sure
Trouble
Det.
started theirs first?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because they had some white labels on Det that I remember, and then TTED came in after that.
Okay.
But you know, first it was all in house because it was, as I said, Alan the Kid.
So Alan Kidd was the platform for all of that to come from.
Exactly. I believe the first Go-Go records might have been on Alan the Kid.
And which were?
E-Flat Boogie and 2 or 3 other singles at that time. E-Flat Boogie, maybe 1 or 2 others I can't think of. Yeah, and so those were the early singles, and the album from those singles came in on, must have been DETT. And so that was the beginning of the record labels for Go-Go, from funk, from R&B to Go-Go.
Okay, so basically the first, other than of course with Chuck when he was doing what he was doing, Bustin' Loose, as most people claim, as the first major Go-Go single to come out.
Right.
After that, so because if I remember correctly, Bustin' Loose was what, like 72, 73?
72, 73.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So when would we be looking at far as E-Flat Boogie coming out?
That was 79, 80.
Okay. So there's a big gap in that time.
Sure.
What was going on between that time?
And I'm sure your next guest will have something to say about that.
Okay, well, yeah, we're gonna bring him in right.
Right.
You know, so we want to welcome you though. I appreciate you for sliding through, but you know,
Yeah.
but go ahead.
Throughout the 70s, well, in terms of recording, there wasn't a lot going on. There was, in terms of recording Go-Go, there wasn't a lot going on. Remember, it was really building the sound and transitioning from a place and an event to a style of music. And then during that time, it was on 3. You know, so because Max was promoting Go-Go / R&B / funk shows all throughout the 70s, and you know, you had Trouble as a funk band, as an R&B band, and doing covers.
So where did EU fall in this time period?
Good question. EU, okay, it's good you mentioned that. Okay, if you look at EU's first couple of albums, they were funk fusion rock.
Yes, and matter of fact, I always looked at them as more of what. For those who don't know, and people that look at Parliament and P-Funk as it was two different breaks of P-Funk, which is the reason why they formed the name. There was a Parliament side and was a Funkadelic side. The Parliament side was the singing band side, and then you had Funkadelic was kind of like a rock, funky rock type of band. EU reminded you more of that funky rock type of style,
right?
When they came out.
And think about it, at that time, and Joe knows, it was Osiris, EU, and Osiris was putting out singles here and there. EU put out a couple of albums that they've been reissued and they're kind of collectible out there. 7-minute rock fusion funk, jazz funk this, funkified and funk this and all of that. Can't think of the titles. And 2 or 3 other bands back in Nature's Creation.
Right. Let's Get Fired Up or something like that.
Right. And
or Fired Up, something like that.
Fired Up and Nature's Creation and 100 Years Time, and all of that was in there together. So that was your 70s run. That's what it was going from too.
So after Bustin' Loose, the next big hit was E-Flat Boogie, which is probably my top 3. One of my top 3 favorite go-go songs of all time. I always tell Tony that. Tony's been here several times.
Okay.
And
tell him it's my favorite too. It's one of my favorites too.
Yeah. I mean, because it has all the elements of what makes a great go-go song, infused into one song. So at that time, you said from 73 to, when you said 77, 78?
And Chuck was releasing albums at that time.
Right.
Ashley's Roach Clip.
Right.
Blow Your Whistle, Funk for the Folks.
Right.
Those were all festival. I mean, the shows that he was on with Joe, those were.
But those are all songs that was in the 120s, 130 BPMs.
Up tempo.
Yeah. So more of the disco era.
Right.
Type
it was
of
disco friendly.
Right.
But also though it was funk. It was funk, and if it wasn't funk to you on the radio when Chuck played it, it was funk.
Right.
He would slow it down, speed it up. Started off slow, speed it up, and then slow it down.
Right.
Because I remember seeing some of those shows, Anacostia Park and all that. But don't forget the last point I was going to make was that OOK, they were playing those records.
Boy, people don't remember WOOK. People don't remember WOOK. I'll tell you what, it's 11:55. We're getting ready to go into to a break, but before we do that, we're gonna play a classic real quick, and then we're gonna introduce our esteemed guest who just came through the door. So I want y'all to keep it locked right here on GoGo Radio Live, Win DC Radio, all wrapped up in GoWin.media to the GoWin Radio Show. Shout out to Miss Lady. I miss you, sis. You just don't know how much I miss you. Real talk. We're coming to you live from the shops at Iverson right here. I got my main man, Ollie Brown, and we about to bring back our esteemed guest right here, and I'm going to introduce him just right. All right? Keep it locked right here. We got ya.
Talking to the kids and the bicycle riders. Talking to the hippies and the Watergate hiders. Talking to the people getting down at the go-go. Shake a tambourine, go and get yourself a whistle and blow. Get it. Shake a tambourine and blow. Any kind of whistle, let's blow. Sock it to your biscuit and blow. Got a good diploma from a hippie school, y'all. Got a good religion, don't you be nobody's fool, y'all. Whoever got $1 got more than me. I just wanna holler when my soul feel free. Now blow. Get it. Step a whistle and blow. Suck it to your biscuit now blow. Get yourself a whistle and blow. Just blow.
What up, family? This is Reverend Tony Lee, the pastor of Community of Hope AME Church, lower level of the Iverson Mall, and I want to welcome you and tell you to come and join me, Community of Hope, each and every Sunday morning, 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 noon. That's right, 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 noon, lower level of the Iverson Mall. We say it every Sunday that we're the Community of Hope where everybody has a chance. And we don't care who you are, what you've done, who you did it with. Don't care if you did it last night, woke up doing it this morning, but when you get to church, you're in the right place at the right time to become all that God has called you to become. Don't you worry about getting out your best suit. You come as you are because God loves you just as you are. That's Community of Hope AME Church, lower level of the Iverson Mall. And did I tell you we got that crank? You need to get some further information or to watch us streaming online, www.hiphopenation.com, www.hiphopenation.com. This your man Reverend Tony Lee's in them. All right, I'll holler and I'll see you there.
Are you short on money? Is your computer acting up? Call my main man, Tony Ray. For $50, PC repairs include troubleshoot one computer using all the proper tools. Remove all viruses, spyware, malware, and rootkits on the computer. Repair any operating system issues, including boot issues, blue screens, etc. Apply system tweaks and modifications. Test operating system for proper functionality. Provide you with an estimate cost for hardware repairs or upgrades needed to provide a complete working PC. Call today. Tony Ray, 202-681-0326. Mobile services also available. He will come pick up your computer and drop it off. Most jobs are done within 24 to 48 hours. One more time. Call Tony Ray, 202-681-0326.
The Shops at Iverson is now undergoing a transformation, creating a mixed-use center where the community can come together to eat, shop, relax, and feel connected. The Shops at Iverson is a 600 KSF mixed-use property consisting of retail and office space now available. Located inside the Beltway on Branch Avenue, Maryland, just minutes from downtown D.C. It's an exciting time at the Shops at Iverson. Several beautiful renovation projects are ongoing, transforming the Shops at Iverson into the new safe community hub. DMV, get ready to enjoy the new food court, opening late spring, early summer, featuring new restaurants like Chipotle, Quickway Hibachi, Tropical Smoothie, Wingstop, and free Wi-Fi. The Shops at Iverson, the original home of the world-famous Snickerdoodle cookies, is completing several cosmetic improvements to the mall interior, facade, and parking garage. The Shops at Iverson is the new home of GoWin Media, comprised of the DMV's premier internet radio stations, GoGo Radio Live, and Win DC Radio. For updates and more details, check out shopiverson.com. That's shopiverson.com. Looking for a new look? Check out Hair Academy 2 in the Shops at Iverson, Hillcrest Heights, Maryland. You'll get quality services done by developing stylists and barbers. Senior discounts offered weekly and free barbershop services available when you present a flyer. Chemical treatments are also available. Call 301-899-9100 for hours of operation. Hair Academy 2 in the Shops at Iverson, 3705 Branch Avenue, Suite 1010, lower level, Hillcrest Heights. A new look is waiting for you at Hair Academy 2.
I got so much trouble in my mind.
Welcome back to the GoWin Radio Show right here on GoGo Radio Live, Win DC Radio, all wrapped up in GoWin.media, coming to you live from the shops at Iverson. And that, what you just heard right there, is classic DC music culture.
I have cervical cancer,
you know what I'm saying?
From
Classic.
an infection.
So I want all of y'all that's tuned in right now to understand that there's a difference in what you may have heard as far as DC music to who I'm about to introduce you to. Because this right here is one of the people who've laid the foundation for all of us to do what we are doing here today. And a lot of you think you know about the DC music scene. Well, this brother right here is about to tell it to you. And I'm about to introduce to you not only the lead singer of this band, but the leader of the band that just played, and that's Joe Quarterman, or as his stage name was, Sir Joe. All right, so I want you to tune in, get your ears tighten up, maybe put a pen in your hand, get some paper, take some notes, because he's about to take you down the history trail right now. Joe, I appreciate you coming in today, man.
Good morning. Thanks for inviting me.
No doubt, no doubt. So,
and good morning to Washington, D.C.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we were sitting here talking off air about some of just some of the history of the DC music scene. But I want to take everybody back and paint a picture for them. So when did you start playing music? Well, first of all, you grew up in D.C., correct?
Born and raised.
All right. So what area of town?
Well, I spent from birth to 10 years old, Berry Farms.
Berry Farms.
Went to Bernie School.
Well, we're gonna talk about that in a minute, because it's a shame what they're getting ready to do over there.
I know. Yeah.
So you Southeast born and bred.
Born and bred. Then in my adolescent years, teenage years, I lived in the Shaw area.
Okay.
Right across the street from Armstrong High School, and I graduated from Dunbar.
Okay, my father came out of Dunbar as well. So, okay. So look, so you came out of Dunbar, graduated wise. When did you first start to get into music?
Well, I first started getting into music when I was very young, about 10 or 11 years old. I've always kind of been a sort of mischievous kid. I like to have fun, play, and that sort of thing. So the teacher made me stand behind the door in the 6th grade, and I was standing behind the door singing a song, and she came around and said, "I didn't know you could sing." I said, "I thought everybody could sing." This is what I was saying to her. Mm-hmm. She said, "Well, tomorrow morning I want you to stand before the class and sing that same song called Lucky Old Son."
Lucky Old Son?
Yeah, by Ray Charles.
Okay.
And I said, okay, because I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought everybody could sing that song and other songs, gospel songs and so forth. So the next morning, I was in the 6th grade then, I sang the song and everybody started clapping. I was wondering what they were applauding for. I mean, it wasn't no big deal.
Right.
And so from there I went to Shaw Junior High School, and I studied under Paul Johnson. He was a school teacher there. Mm-hmm. And I started out on drums, and I broke my arm, and he said, "You can't be in the band anymore because you can't play." I said, "Well, I can play a trumpet." Never played a trumpet before in my life, but I played bugle for the No. 2 Boys Club, 3rd and K Street Northwest. And he said, "If you can play anything on that trumpet, we'll keep you in the band." All my friends were in the band, you know. Right. And so I picked up the trumpet and I played da 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 da. He said, "Okay, you can stay in the band." So that's when I started. That was in 1956.
1956. I'm gonna move it up real quick. I just want to get your opinion on something. What do you? And we talked about this last week on the show. What are your feelings about them taking the music out of DC public schools?
Well, I always thought that was a bad thing because that's how I got my start, DC public schools and music, and it makes you more rounded. So you're taking a spiritual thing away from the community when you take music, dance, any of the performing arts or graphic arts. It's a big loss.
Okay. I don't want to harp on that too much. I just wanted one of our founders here for DC music culture to really, you know, speak on that, because it sickens me.
Yeah.
It
well,
really does.
Well, people will find a way. This is, for the most part, how you got a lot of the go-go and other music where kids are playing on the bottom of paint cans and whatever. There's going to be music, one way or the other. If you don't teach them or give it to them the right way, they'll find their own way. It may be distasteful to some, but it's all they can do because it's in you. Right. If you have it in you, it's going to come out one way or another.
There you go. There you go. So in high school, you played in the band. So when did you, the school band. Right. So when did you start playing in a band? Did you form your own band, or you joined someone else's band?
Well, yeah, I joined someone else's band, but before the band, I had a singing group called the Knights. That's where the name Sir Joe came from. I was Sir Joe. I had Lord Mac, Count McVeigh, Duke, Murdoch, and Sir Walter Lassiter.
So y'all was a doo-wop band?
Yeah, we would doo-wop. We sang Lil Anthony and the Imperials, Smokey Robinson. I had a kind of a light voice, so
kept that's Smokey right there.
Yeah. So that's really where I started in the show business type of singing. We were singing at recreation centers and so forth. We didn't get paid or anything. We did it for fun.
Yeah.
Talent shows. Mm-hmm. And but the band that I joined, I was in the 12th grade then. It was called the El Corals Band, and we played cabarets, teen hops. Played in I'd say maybe 25, 40-mile radius. Sometimes we play Baltimore. We played at a very famous place called the Cars Beach, Annapolis, Maryland. And we played behind many stars, Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. We were on the show with Jackie Wilson. We played behind Dionne Warwick, people like that. And the reason why they sort of selected us to play behind them, because we could read music. That's one of the things that I give the D.C. Public School credit for, because of Paul Johnson, who was the music director. He made sure that we could read music. That's very important to understand what people all over the world are doing, because the music doesn't change no matter what country you're in. When they put a sheet of music in front of you, anybody on the planet Earth who can read music can read it.
Oh my goodness. I want to say that again, but I want, we have a lot to talk about, but it's just, to me, that is so important for these brothers and sisters out here right now. It's good to understand and know that you have a feel for the music, but to be able to read it and to be on anybody's stage and be able to work within that and those parameters is so important. I think that our youth nowadays, they're more caught up in the rap industry, and I'm gonna ask you about that in a little bit too. Yeah, I know it's funny.
It's a genre. I mean, hey,
right.
As I said earlier, it's gonna come out one way or the other.
Right. So what's interesting is that we feel like we don't have to do the extra work and learn not only about our history and what made us, what brought us where we are, but it's not the same type of work ethic, and learning, like you're saying, far as how to read music, and that's just the basic foundation of what you're doing.
Gives you an understanding where music came from,
right,
and hopefully where it's going.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. With like on the go-go culture in the scene right now, I'm heavily entrenched in it. And I talk to these youth, and they feel like the older generation don't understand them, and that the older generation won't reach back to them. And to where we came up, young, and you supposed to come to us.
Well, a lot of the rap music and go-go music and all was extracted from the more profound music of writing music. For example, when James Brown says, "Put it on the one."
Right.
I mean, you need to know what he's talking about. One what? Number one. That's the first beat of the first measure.
The upbeat.
That's you're reading and you're learning music right there.
Right.
And James Brown wasn't a literate person as far as music is concerned, but he knew where the one was. So that's a good starting point.
So, and that's some basics.
Basic.
Just basics right
Sure.
there. So, moving on. So after the what is it?
El Coros.
Coros. The El Coros. Where did you move forward to after that?
Well, I left the El Coros to go on the road with Garnett Mims. He was a rhythm and blues singer. And we were working out of a booking agency in New York, Universal Attractions. And they had us playing behind Solomon Burke. We played a few gigs behind Otis Redding, Stevie Wonder. These folks would be on the road, and they would be without a band in certain areas. And we would play behind them until their assigned band caught up with them. Even Little Richard at the Royal Peacock in Atlanta, Georgia, played behind them there. Arthur Conley.
How were you getting these gigs?
As I was saying earlier, Universal Attractions out of New York. That was James Brown's main booking agency, and they booked him around the world as well as booking us East Coast, Mid-America, St. Louis, New Orleans, that sort of thing, Chicago.
So did y'all have a manager?
Yeah, we had a manager. I forget his name right now. Okay. But he would see to it that we would get to various gigs. He would rent buses or vans or whatever we needed to get from one place to another.
I'm asking you these basic questions because I just want people that are tuned in now that just really don't understand. And to you, it might be like, are you serious? But a lot of people really just don't understand the basic elements of what it takes. And they might say, well, that was back in the day. Things have changed now. But these are the basic elements of what it takes to be to be successful. Right. And, and as a forefather such as yourself, I just want them to hear it from you. And then instead of me, mumbling and, just trying to tell them, so look, these are the things you need to do to have in place in order to move forward to be successful in this industry. So was the music industry has always had a kind of a bad name for how they dealt with their artists. Was it just as cruddy back then as it is now? Yeah,
well, you had your drugs, liquor, women, and so forth that you had to deal with.
Well, that's to me, that's the perks. That's what I'm talking about. Where the artists being taken advantage of back then as they are now.
Worse.
Really?
Because the person who makes the most off of a recorded song is usually the writer.
Right.
But back then, because of we weren't literate as far as writing, producing, and publishing, they got all of the big easy money, and the artists would only get money on stage. And back then, people were only paying $1, $1.50, $2.50 admission charges, and if you got a 5, 6, 7-piece band and equipment and so forth to take care of, you probably only made $25 to $30 a night if you made that much.
Wow. Well, you know what? How much again? Say those numbers.
Sometimes
again.
It could be 5, 10, 20, 30. If you made $50 a night, you win the big bucks.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, some of these bands on the go-go circuit right now, you may be laughing, but that's what they're making. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not.
Things haven't changed much since then.
It
depends on how many people you have. If you've got like a trio or a quartet.
Nah, I'm talking about some of these band members. It might be 10, 11, 12 people in the band, and they making $25 to $50.
Yeah, well, that's all that's going to be because they're playing for young folks, and young folks probably can't pay over $3, $4, $5 a ticket.
Nah, they paying minimum of $10.
Is that right?
Up to $20, $25 a head.
Well, the promoters are making all the money.
Exactly. Exactly.
They're going out the side door while you going out the back door.
Nah, they're not even going out the side door. They sitting back, counting the money, talking about things weren't right tonight, and we get up with you.
Same song.
We'll put you on another card so you can make some more money.
Same song.
There it is.
Oh yeah.
There it is. So I just want people to see the relevancy right there.
Well, you don't have a choice. I mean, if you intend to spread your music, your sound, you take it or leave it. But record companies are sort of taking over now with what is called a 360 deal, where they get a certain percentage of everything you do off the top. So they have connections with clubs, arenas, and so forth, and they book you at these arenas if you got a hit record. And they've sort of taken the promoter out of position, and the record companies itself will book you in certain places. You can make more money that way if you have a small group and a big sound and a hit record.
Kendrick Lamar's under that type of deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, if you got a 360 deal where the record company's taking 20% of what you make, they're taking it off the top. So if they're booking you for 50 grand a night, they're taking 20% of that, and you have to pay for everything else. The arena, you have to pay for the stage props, you've got to pay for the dancers, you got to pay for the musicians, travel, lodging,
Wow.
everything. So you can look at let's say if you were making 10,000 a night, by the time you pay all those bills.
Oh, you ain't making nothing.
That's why I said people ask me, am I still making these world tours? Because my record did more in Europe, places outside of the U.S. than the U.S. I said it depends on how much my take-home pay is.
Well, let's talk about let's move forward and talk about that a little bit. So you, after you started touring, when did you start getting into, as far as Sergio Quarterman and your band?
Well, after the singing groups that I told you, the Knights, I started playing trumpet with the El Coros band.
Right.
And the El Coros band got picked up and went on the road behind
James Brown and
well, we played on shows with them and
Okay.
backed up a lot of stars also. Well, I left the Magnificent Seven because I wanted to stay local, home, and
Why?
start playing.
Why did you want to stay home?
Because I got married and started making babies.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's commemorable.
I had a short lease.
I mean, well, it's commemorable because it's a lot of artists who wouldn't care about that.
Yep.
Well, I love my children
There it is.
and loved my wife too when I got married.
There it is.
And I wanted to make sure I took care of them. So I played part-time and I worked also.
You getting some love out here right now. Women out there like, oh, I like him. Yeah, cause. Hey, but go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
So anyway, I started playing jazz with the Orlando Smith Quintet. I wanted to play jazz anyway. I was a trumpet player, and there was a lot to learn. I could read music. That wasn't a big deal. I wanted to know how to improvise and so forth. The only way to do that is to join a sophisticated group who were improvisation jazz, progressive jazz, and so forth, that sort of thing. So I went to Atlantic City, where we were the house band, and we had some problems with the band leader. So there was a guy named Harry Hunt, guitar player, who was the guitar player of the band. He said, Joe, why don't you start your own band? And I mean, you sing and you play and all, we'll back you up. So we came back to D.C., and we needed a name for the group. And we kicked a lot of names around. And my sister, Gloria, she said, why don't you call yourself the Free Souls? I mean, everybody seems to be a free-spirited musician. Some are jazz, some are R&B, and you're a mixture of this, that. Be a free-spirited.
So your sister is the one to be attributed that name. Huh?
Free Soul.
Okay.
One word.
Oh, it's one word. Okay.
Yeah, Free Soul, not free, then soul.
Right.
Free Soul. It wanted to be sort of a trademark and a new thing. And keep the name Sergio because you've already had a few songs that were recorded, and some of your fans will identify you by Sergio. So it was Sergio and Free Soul. And that's when we started recording demos and that sort of thing.
So who were you working with at that time? As far as you working with a particular label?
My first record label was Lenox Records out of New York.
I'm talking about under the Free Souls.
Free Soul, the first song that we did there were demos. We didn't have a record company. But when they heard So Much Trouble, this company, recording company, Track Records in Silver Spring, they formalized a record company called Mantis, and they had a publishing company called Avalanche, and they said, well, we'll do this for you. We'll do this. We'll, what do you call it, shop your song around and see if we can't get a record company. And Atlantic Records was interested in So Much Trouble, GSF, and there was one other group, but GSF made us the best offer, and that's the company that put it out nationally.
Okay.
So that was our first deal. That was in 1971.
1971, and so that was the song that I played earlier.
Right.
That introduced you. So that was your biggest hit. Am I correct?
That song was selling over 30,000 copies per week.
Wow.
And it was taking off. And so we went on a USO tour to the Mediterranean. I didn't know it was selling that well. We were already scheduled.
Why did you know? You weren't getting reports back then?
Well, my manager was getting reports when we came back off the tour and said the record company wished we had not have gone to Europe because the record was so hot and everybody wanted to see us. So when we came right back, we were introduced to Soul Train, Don Cornelius.
Really?
Yeah, and a few other people, big stars. There was one movie actor, Raymond St. Jacques, wanted me to write some scores for his movies and so forth. But as luck may have it, he had a heart attack and died. So there was a song that I kept the music for called "You're Driving Me Out of Your Mind." I took the music tracks and made a song out of it. But that was all under GSF. GSF was ran by the former president and CEO of ABC Paramount.
Wow.
And his name was Newton. I can't think of his first name. But he had the record. He said, Joe, we're gonna play your music around the world. Whatever songs you make, we like what you're doing. And even though they didn't want to pay me.
Do they ever? Do they ever? They want to show all the love, but don't want to give up no money.
Oh yeah. So
that's the record industry, boy. I tell you.
Yeah. So that's a whole nother story.
Right.
So
well, I tell you what, we're going to play some of your music. Matter of fact, Ollie. The main reason why Ollie's here because we're re-releasing some of your classics. So we're gonna play some of your music. Then we'll come back, and then we're gonna. Not only is he a DC legend, y'all, but he is one of the gentlemen that can give you some background on how this whole go-go music thing started. So we're gonna come back. It is Throwback Thursday right here on the GoWin Radio Show on GoGo Radio Live, Win DC Radio, all wrapped up in GoWin.media, coming to you live from the shops at Iverson. Ollie, what was the single that we gonna get ready to play?
Was it Young Man or Your Fun, or there's a couple of them you had?
What about Get Down Baby?
Get Down Baby.
All right.
Classic.
All right, well, let's go right there. Get Down Baby right here on GoGo Radio Live, Win DC Radio, all wrapped up in GoWin.media. We're sitting here with Sir Joe Quarterman.
Get down, baby.
Thank you for calling into the GoWin Radio Show. This is Nico the Go-Gologist. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Frank Hooker. How you doing?
Frank Hooker. Oh my goodness.
What's going on?
I appreciate you for calling in, Frank Hooker. Let me introduce you real quick to our listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the gentleman who, this is one of our other guests that we was waiting to hear from, Mr. Frank Hooker, who was the front man, and well, let's say the leader of the Young Senators, Washington, D.C.'s own Young Senators. A lot of you talk about, you know, you think you know go-go or D.C. history, the music in the history of D.C. music. And these two gentlemen I have with me, these three gentlemen I have with me, can really lay the foundation for you to work off of. Mr. Hooker, I appreciate you for calling in today. It's really a blessing. It's really a blessing to have you on the show. Can you give everybody a little bit of your background and what you've done in the music industry?
Yeah, well, a while back, as you know, we actually started the go-go back at Bryan Manor, next to Columbus.
Wait a minute. Let's back it all the way up. Let's back it all the way up. First and foremost, like I asked Joe himself, are you born and raised from D.C.?
Yes, sir.
What part?
Born and raised in Washington, D.C., Roosevelt High School.
So
yes,
doesn't you remember the El Coros band?
Go ahead, Joe. He can hear you.
Hey, Frank, Joe Quarterman here. Sir Joe.
Hey, Joe. How you doing, sir?
Doing good. We just played a song that you played keyboards for me on.
Okay.
Do you remember the El Coros band?
Yeah.
We used to compete with you guys for cabarets and gigs like that.
That's right. Way back in the day.
All right, I'm just sitting back listening to you. Go right ahead.
All right. So,
yeah. But we were back, nice to Columbus. You know, they started the go-go back there at Bryan Manor, nice to Columbus. It was a Monday night, and we were like the house band back there.
Oh,
and,
wait a minute, Frank. You jump a little.
Monday night.
Yeah. Let's back it all the way up. So, are you talking about prior to being in the Young Senators, or this is with the Young Senators?
This is actually with the Young Senators.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
This is the Young Senators.
So
Leroy was saxophone. Leroy, he went with Chuck Brown later on, but he was our sax player back then. Leroy Fleming. And, we were the Young Senators. Frank Hooker, 1L Jones, Jimmy Dugan, Leroy Fleming. And we had some horns, but we had started to go way back there, nice to Columbus.
So I don't want to get nobody upset, but they just going to be upset. So so you're saying that and what year is this?
Man, this is way back. This was actually even before Chuck. And Chuck came later on. Chuck Brown came, but we had actually started, and then he had a group back then called the Los Latinos back then.
Right.
Actually, I knew Chuck Brown, but we actually were the group for the Monday night go-go, and then there was another group that would come and play. It was actually a white group that would come and play called Andy Echo, and there was a group called Tommy Van and the Professionals.
Tommy Van.
This was way back.
So you saying this is like in the 60s?
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
So when you say you started the Go-Go's, you talking about the events, the Go-Go's, or the music itself?
Right. The event.
Okay.
We played different kinds of music. Yeah. We played. We had Congo drums also, but it wasn't just a go-go sound. It was. We played all kinds of music.
Everybody was doing top 40 back then.
Huh?
I said everybody was doing the top 40 back then.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so
You're right.
So the Young Senators at that time, So you didn't necessarily start the style of go-go, and you all started back in Burn Manor, which rest in peace to Burn Manor. Oh my God, yeah, that's sad to say that, and I don't know if you know about that, but it burned down a few years back.
Right.
Yeah, and it was crazy. It started with what you called the Go-Go's, and it ended with the Go-Go's.
Well, see, a lot of people didn't know it was the Go-Go. It was just extended music. It was the Go-Go sound, but it didn't have a name.
Right.
So,
right.
Okay, wait a minute, Joe. You mixing people up right here. So, because I want people to have the clarity of actually what's going on, because everybody here in the D.C. metropolitan area, and maybe rightfully so, feel like Chuck Brown started the go-go sound.
He might have named
it.
Okay, so can you? And matter of fact, I talked to a promoter, Kenny Barnes. I don't know. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Joe, you know him?
Sure.
Okay, so I know. Matter of fact, a great friend of mine's, his nephew, Devin Barnes. That's his uncle. And so I sat down extensively with him for quite a while, and he talked about how he and I forgot the other gentleman's name. I believe it was him and I can't remember off the top of my head.
Max Kidd, maybe?
No, it wasn't Max. But they started the Go-Go's, and they was up in Palmer Park, Club the Burn.
Yeah.
They started the Go-Go's back then. So that was what he was saying.
Go ahead. You got to go back a little further than that.
I hear you. No, I'm just reporting. Yeah. I'm just telling you what I was told.
He might have started when it was the style of music go-go, but these guys started when it was the event.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And understandably so, I can understand that, but because the way I learned the music, I can speak. The go-go, it was go-go. Yes, Chuck. The way Chuck told the story is that it was just a continuation from song to song, and he kept the beat going, and so that's how Chuck told the story.
But
so
it also coincided with what Thursday night was called. It was called Thursday Night Go-Go. It wasn't named after the music; it was named after the event.
Right, and that's what Mr. Barnes said as well. But he said it started up in Palmer Park.
Yeah, well, there was a continuation. You're right. There was a continuation of the go-go after we left. As you know, we went on the road with Eddie Tent.
Yeah, during that season. Well, we're going to get into that in a second. But I just want you to lay the foundation of how you feel like the music actually started with the Young Senators, as far as the D.C. go-go culture started with the Young Senators.
Well, to be honest, the way we played, the groove was in everybody. Now, we did other music, but, we were able to, lay out the groove. If you listen to a song that we recorded called Jungle, it starts off dun, 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 in the middle of the jungle. That was the first record that we recorded. But not the first record, the one that got out there for us called The Jungle, because we had some other music. And then if you listen to the Bustin' Loose song, it comes on like dun 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 dun. Very similar in the beginning. So, yeah. So what I'm saying is that the music that we laid down, we weren't just a go-go band. We were not just a go-go band. Because we had singers, we would sing songs, like MacArthur's Park and all kinds of other music, that required a lot more music.
Wait a minute, Frank. I don't want my listeners to be upset here. So it sounds like from what you just said, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you saying that the Soul Searchers stole Bustin' Loose from the Jungle. Now, Now, there's a lot of that in the music industry. We know how that works. You know, matter of fact, I was just watching the news this morning how this reggae artist was saying this pop. I forgot what the young lady named. This pop artist.
Miley Cyrus or
No, it wasn't Miley Cyrus.
the other one.
Yeah, but
She took the reggae.
right. She took the reggae cut. So are you saying that the Bustin' Loose, the greatest go-go song that actually laid the foundation? Many feel laid the foundation for go-go. It came from the jungle.
No, I'm not going. I'm not going to say the whole song. No, I'm not saying the whole song, and I'm not saying that they stole. I don't have to use that word stole.
Now, I'm not trying to apply. You said I'm trying to say. I want to make sure it's clear because black folks feed off controversy.
Right. Yeah. But there was a similarity. I mean, okay, Leroy. Okay, Leroy was our sax player.
Right.
Right? The guy that played with the Young Saints was Leroy Fleming. He was our saxophone player. And he went with Chuck Brown, obviously, as y'all might know, because Chuck hollers, "Hey, Leroy, give me some of that horn." Well, that's Leroy Fleming. That's our sax player that was with us, all the way through.
Right.
So all I'm saying is that, I won't say they actually stole it, I mean, people bought music, so I'm not going to say, they actually stole it, but, look, it was cool, because it fit the song, so.
Well, I do know that just like athletes, musicians are very competitive. So at that time, did you feel a certain kind of way?
I'm gonna be honest, not really.
Okay.
Not really, because to be honest, we were successful in what we were doing. Maybe if we weren't successful in what we were doing, then yeah, I'd say they made it. We didn't, and they made it off our music. So I didn't feel some kind of way about that. No, not at all. So I knew Chuck. I still, I'd see Chuck. We'd laugh, talk always, So it wasn't that kind of thing, like that.
What was your relationship? What was your relationship with Chuck Brown at that time?
Man, Chuck and I, we were good friends because actually I was the keyboard player, but I also played the guitar. I sometimes Chuck and I would get together, kind of exchange lyrics, back during that season.
But Chuck was a congenial type guy anyway. He got along with everybody.
Yeah. Chuck is good people, and nothing bad about Chuck, he took the groove and he kept the groove, he took it to the clubs, he made it, like I said, one song, he put people's names in the music, and, hey, it was no hatred.
Okay.
At all.
Go ahead,
be honest,
Hey,
I go ahead.
No, Frank.
But that was way back. I'm from DC, so this is my home, okay?
Right.
So
Yeah.
Hey, Frank.
Yes, sir.
So you and Joe took off and started going national and international, and Chuck stayed and he carried the baton.
He groomed his own crowd.
Right, and took this thing
Right.
and he ran with it.
Yeah.
So did y'all, hey Frank, did you feel a certain kind of way? A country boy from Carolina came up here and started taking the groove or the foundation that you and Joe have laid, and just started doing his thing with it?
Did I feel some kind of way about it? Absolutely not.
Huh?
I think when it's like I said, we were still making music, and of course I didn't want to just limit, our sound to just one sound, So I wasn't mad at him for just continuing. I mean, it was a market locally here. There was a market for go-go. I mean, it was the DC sound, So he carried it. So that was okay, And then as time went on, I kind of got into other things, and you know, as you all know, started the Frank Hook and the Positive People. We signed with MCA Records, and, you know, we did a record, Ooh Sugar Wooger, that was, you know, that did good. And, you know, then I, you know, did some other music, you know, and I got into the Lord. And so once I did that, you know, hey, to God be the glory. So, you know, but, you know, I had no animosity, you know, with Chuck Brown at all. Not at all.
Okay.
You know, yeah, not at all, you know.
So how was it that Eddie Kendricks came to D.C. and found you all? And you end up becoming the backing band for Eddie Kendricks.
Yeah, well, Jimmy Dugan, who was our Congo player at the time, I think it was at Carter Burns.
What was his name again? What was his name?
The Temps came to Carter Burns.
Jimmy Dugan.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. And I think he had actually talked to Eddie, and at that season, Eddie was talking about, you know, possibly going solo. And, you know, said that he would need a band, so we went and hooked up, had a meeting with him at the Watergate, and, you know, and he was talking about, you know, would we like to play with, you know, play behind him. He heard about us, and would we like to play behind him. So, you know, he came to hear us at, I think it was the Longworth Cafeteria. That's where we were playing. At the Longworth Cafeteria, way back. That was another go-go. And he came to hear us, and we had, like I said, we had the meeting at the Watergate. You know, we decided, you know, we talked to the band, and you know, we decided that we would go and be his band. And then he sent his music director down here to Washington, D.C. to our rehearsal to give us the music. And after he gave us that music, it was a great blessing, you know, because, you know, we were able to have a real tight show. And we went from there to the Apollo. That was our first gig with Eddie. Was at the Apollo Theater in New York.
What?
Went from there, and we were rolling. Next thing you know, as time went on, you know, they really liked the band with Eddie Kendricks, and they were getting ready to go in the studio. Then they asked us, will we record with them, which that had never happened with any Motown artist. So we recorded with Eddie at that time.
Where did y'all record at? Did y'all go to Motown to record, or you recorded?
Yeah. We recorded Motown. Yep, recorded in Detroit, actually.
Right.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we went and recorded there. Frank Wilson was the producer.
So
you know.
So let me ask you this: when Eddie, I got two questions to ask you real quick. So when Eddie came to town and he saw you all and he picked you up as a band, had he started his solo career yet?
He was actually getting ready to start it, actually, because he was actually at the Carter Burn and he was with the group at the time. So he was really still with the group when he was considering it, okay?
Okay, with the Temptations.
Yeah, he hadn't left the group yet, no. Yeah. So, no, he hadn't, you know, as far as I know, he hadn't already left the group.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
So my next question to you is, when Eddie did pick you up, or the band, was that the end of the Young Senators?
No, not at all. You know, matter of fact, we got a lot. To be honest, we got more play as the Young Senators with Eddie than we did at home.
Oh, okay.
You know, because I mean, people would come out, to be honest, and hear the band, and between you and I, we'd get a great write up. You know, they say, "Oh man, Eddie's band is this, that, and the other." Oh man, the Young Senators. And you know, they were really praising his band. Okay. And so, you know, to the point that, you know, they had well, I don't want to get into a whole lot of that. You know, politics, you know how it goes, you know. We had to kind of calm it down because, you know, we're getting a lot more exposure and people were talking more about the band, you know. So, you know, we had a meeting with them and, you know, we had to kind of cool it down. You know, because Yeah, because
Get
you
more
know we
recognition
were
than
rolling
others.
during that season.
Well, I tell you
Yeah.
what. I tell you what. Is it possible? Can y'all hang around for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, hey Frank, I'm gonna get your number from Ollie. I'm gonna call you back. I have my Faith to Good Credit segment getting ready to come in. Try to help our people out get their credit together. You know, so
Right.
you might want to listen to if you're having credit problems. I hope you not. You hope you're not. You know, but I definitely want for all of us, because at 1:00 each and every other Thursday we have our Faith to Good Credit segment comes in, and then, but I really want to come back with you gentlemen because it's some questions that I want to ask about the DC culture and as far as the foundation, how you two laid it, and where it relates to today.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I appreciate it. So in the meantime, in between time, as Chuck used to say, gone what you got when you get what you need, y'all. So we gonna get ready to go to break real quick. But what we're gonna take them into, we gonna put them in the jungle real quick. How about that, Frank? How about
That's all right.
how about we put them in the jungle real quick? Right here. You're listening to the GoWin Radio Show on GoGo Radio Live, Win DC Radio, all wrapped up in GoWin.media. Live from the shops at Iverson. Hey, Miss Lady, I know you listening. I need you, girl. Keep it locked right here.
Sit here wondering what to do. My baby left me feeling blue. She left me crying and so hurt. She left me crying and so hurt. Way down yonder in the jungle, deep, 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 deep. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I'm gonna stay way down yonder, deep, deep in the middle of the jungle. Yeah. Got to be. I'll be your man. Got to be. I'll understand. Way down yonder in the jungle. Deep, 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 deep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I'm gonna stay way down yonder, deep, deep in the middle of the jungle. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Yeah. Of the jungle. Yeah. So tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of the jungle.
Hey man, it's your main man, DJ Batman, coming to you live from GoGo Radio Live.
right here each and every Friday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Tune in and turn up for my rush hour party. Let's get the weekend started together. Y'all ready to party? Y'all know how I get down, man. It's the one and only DJ Batman. You know what I'm saying? It's showtime.
Have you ever tried to recreate that live go-go sound in the studio? It's kind of hard to get that go-go swing and raw crank drive without a real drummer, right? Well, we have the solution for you at GoGoLoops.com. If you're a music producer and you're looking to produce authentic sounding go-go tracks, GoGo Loops is what you need. We offer a variety of drum kits and beat loop packs that can give you a solid foundation for your funky go-go style beats. High quality live and studio recorded pocket and socket beat loops, bounce beat loops, and guitar and bass samples will get your track sounding like the real deal. Our drum kits include a variety of real drum kicks, snares, congas, cowbells, jam blocks, timbales, rototons, crashes, and even more. We also have individual drum beat loops and Congo beat loops that can be used as play-along tracks for learning and practice purposes. These are the most exclusive drum samples on the planet. Since go-go is an art form born and bred in the DMV, there aren't any other places you can find this unique sound. We have affordable pricing and different types of products that can fit in anyone's budget. Sign up to the GoGo Loop at GoGoLoop.com and get free samples and discount codes. If you want your music to stand out in the crowd, you need samples from GoGoLoops.com. Our music, our culture, our way. Visit GoGoLoops.com today and always keep it cranking.
Hey, y'all, this is your girl Shemaine. Make sure you tune into Win DC Radio Sunday through Saturday for the best in indie artist music and all the hottest new music. Win DC Radio, the platform for independent artists.
What's good, y'all? This your boy AJ Throwback. Join Coach Taylor, Ransomwell, Gangsta B and me for dope music and hot topics on Breakout Kings Radio every Monday from 6 to 10 p.m. only on WinDCRadio.com. Powered by GoWin.media.
On Crank Hunting with Go Craig, I go searching for the freshest crank on the planet. Every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I bring you 2 hours of the hottest new go-go music, go-go mashups, and bootleg go-go remixes I can find.
Everyone in Jamaica wants to hear more mashup of go-go tunes and other styles of music.
And so do I, but the problem is I'm running out of crank, so I'm looking for a new connect. And that's when it hit me. I do what we do in sound system culture when we need producers to send us music. I'm holding a sound clash.
Go-Go Craig is holding a crank clash, where two songs will battle head to head to see who cranks the highest.
So any go-go bands or producers who want to compete in the crank clash?
King April is calling all of the bedroom producers, sound system, and go-go bands to email gogocraig@gmail.com.
Remixes of classic go-go songs that mash up of go-go tunes with other styles of music.
A new crank clash every Saturday at 8 p.m. only on Go-Go Radio Live.
What do you want from life? Success, happiness, money, fulfillment? Here's your chance to create all that and more with a new career in cosmetology and professional barbering. Hair Academy 2 is an education program designed to teach you all you need to know to succeed in the wide-open beauty industry career field. Hair Academy 2 is located in the shops at Iverson, 3705 Branch Avenue, Suite 1010, Lower Level, Hillcrest Heights, Maryland. Our school prides itself on honesty, integrity, and service to our students and customers. While you're learning the skills needed to succeed, you'll be serving the community by providing them with quality services, offering senior discounts weekly on our clinic floor, and our barbershop is running free hair specials when presented with flyer. For more information, contact Binta Campbell in the admissions office at 301-899-9100, Monday through Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Create your success story with an exciting career in cosmetology and professional barbering at Hair Academy 2. Classes are filling up fast, so call today, 301-899-9100.
Welcome back to the GoWin Radio Show right here on GoGo Radio Live, WinDC Radio, all wrapped up in GoWin.media. Uh-oh. Somebody calling in. That might be the same gentleman. Do me a favor. Ollie, do me a favor. Tell him to hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
Can you see the numbers calling from? No, that's not him.
Matter of fact, hold on. Caller, call back, please. I'm hoping this is Miss Lady calling in. I'm hoping this is Miss Lady. All right. So, let me introduce, because we have been waiting, or at least I've been waiting, most definitely all week for 2 weeks now, for our special guest to come in with her segment that she does each and every other Thursday right here on the GoWin radio show, and that's our Faith to Good Credit show, segment that is. Let me turn this down. I'm a little hot on the mic here. All right. What is going on here? All right. Imani?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At least you're sounding good right here. I'm trying to find out where this feedback is coming from. All right. So each and every other Thursday, the first and third Thursday of each month, we have our Faith to Good Credit segment that we have right here on the GoWin radio show. And we have the one and only Queen herself, Queen of Credit Repair, Miss Imani, in the house. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me, Nico. It's been some time. We've been trying to get these dates together, but we finally have it together.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm still hoping out for Turn Up Tuesday, though.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm holding out for that. I'm holding out. I just love that theme. I love that theme.
Turn Up Tuesday.
Yes, indeed. And reason why you call it Turn Up Tuesday?
To turn up your credit score.
Yeah, not to turn up the drink.
No.
Yeah, not to turn up the party, but to turn up your credit score.
Absolutely.
And just to move, off what we're going to talk about today, but tell everybody why that is so important.
Man, it's very, very important, because your credit score today is literally like your whole financial life. It dictates you being able to purchase a home. It dictates you even renting an apartment. It dictates you being able to get the car that you want rather than the car that you have to settle for because of your credit score is low. It dictates your job. More and more companies are requiring you to have a good credit score and a good credit history to be able to qualify for the position or promotion that you want. And it's so crazy. And today also, even if you're already working, you have the job, you're at the company that you would like to work, that you're working for, to get a promotion, they still check your credit once to see if they're going to qualify you for the new promotion. And it's so crazy. It doesn't matter today how many degrees you have, how much experience, or how many certifications you have. Your credit is one of the main qualifications, and you may have all the degrees you need, but if your credit score isn't good, they will still turn you down.
And that's why we have you in here the first and third Thursday of each month, because I feel, and I and Miss Lady, we feel like it's imperative that our listeners, they understand this element, because sometimes we, as black folks, we go through life figuring, you know what, as long as I got cash, I'm good. Mm-hmm. I can work my way through life. I got this cash. I'm going to make it happen one way or the other. And as you told us last time that you was here, that's not necessarily true. Am I right?
You are right. So it's not necessarily true. Like, times change. Like I said before, back then it used to be cash is king. As long as you got that cash, you good to go. But now credit is power. Cash is king, but credit is power.
I love it.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, with all that being said, today we're going to really get into the top reasons why people are experiencing having bad credit. So let's start out with number one. What is one of the top reasons why people are experiencing having bad credit?
The top one is lack of credit education. We weren't taught about credit in school when we were growing up. I know I didn't. Did you guys?
No.
A lot of people did not learn about credit, in middle school and high school. They taught us algebra, geometry, all that kind of stuff, which, we don't even use today. But they did not teach us about credit, how your credit score is a very important number in your life. They didn't teach you how to manage credit, things to do, things to not do. And then you wind it up, once you hit 18 and you're able to be at age where you can start applying for credit, you just start messing up your credit, not knowing how bad you're getting yourself into. So that's the number one, lack of credit education.
Okay, so obviously, and that's that's an issue with our people in general. Just just knowing what goes into putting yourself in a bad position. Sometimes you just doing it just out of enjoying life,
right,
and not realizing the ramifications of the actions that you're putting yourself in.
Right.
So that's number one. So let's go to number two. What is the number two reason why people are experiencing having bad credit?
Medical issues. So no one expects to go through anything where you're facing any type of medical conditions or medical illnesses or any type of medical issues. No one looks forward to that, but it happens. Unfortunately, it happens to all of us. Some severe, some not so severe, but you can have all kinds of doctor bills, hospital bills, and you may not can afford all of that, and your insurance doesn't cover everything all the time, and so it can be a heavy toll on your credit report, and then it'll drop your credit score. So that's the second reason why people experience having bad credit, and it's very unfortunate because that's something that we can't help when something happens to our health.
Okay, so that's that's sad. To be honest with you, I kind of went through that situation myself when I was hit by a car right outside here at the shops at Iverson. And so they really jacked up my credit because I was waiting for the suit to get settled. Mm-hmm. And, obviously the suit, the person who hit me, they're supposed to take care of my medical bills because they had insurance to do so. But the hospital was sweating me out. Mm-hmm. We want our money. Mm-hmm. Even though we done filed all the papers, my lawyer sent them in the papers and whatnot, and they still asking for their money. So that put me in a bad place right there. So, and then, that stress, that's undue stress.
Right.
So now undue stress coming from the hospital, and then as well as the credit situation. Mm-hmm. So that's understandable. I can speak, and I know a lot of people's going through it.
Yeah, and they don't even care. They don't even care how well you are. They just throw it right on your credit. Oh, you didn't pay it. Sending it to the credit bureaus.
And I went in and I talked to somebody who deals with credit, because I'm a vet, so we have the services, that you can go in and talk to somebody. And, they say, and like you spoke on in the last time you was here, a lot of it's due to communication. But even though we was communicating with them, they were still jacking me up. Mm-hmm. So it was it's crazy. So let's go to number three. There's another reason why people are dealing with credit issues.
Okay, number three, loss of job. People unfortunately lose their job. And when you lose your job, of course, you don't have the income that you were having before. So you tend to not be able to afford to pay your bills. And you get behind on bills. And next thing you know, it's on your credit report. And it just stresses you out even more. So, and the credit bureaus do not care at all if you was to contact them and say, hey, I'm going through something with my job. I lost my job. Can you just hold on from putting it on my credit report? Absolutely, you wish it was that easily, but they do not care at all. They're still going to report it. They're going to say, oh, sorry, but still going on here.
Well, Imani, I mean, we're talking about the issues, but let's talk about some of the ways to solve the issues.
Okay.
So, let's back it up one with the hospital situation. Mm-hmm. How can you rectify that?
So far as like the hospital bills, you just have to send a dispute letter, not to your creditors. So whatever collection agency sent it to whatever collection agencies that sent it to the credit bureaus, you don't want to contact them at all. You want to go straight to the big boys. You want to go straight to the credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, because the collection agencies, they make money off of you, so they're not going to try to help you. They just want you to pay them. But as far as it getting removed, you just have to create a dispute letter, and that's what we do with our company. So we help you create dispute letters to get them removed from your credit report. And honestly, medical bills are usually one of the easiest things to get off because they're always unorganized.
when you say our company, let our listeners know who is your company.
So my company is Financial Education Services, and our credit restoration side, which is also known as credit repair, is through United Credit Education Services. And a lot of people haven't heard about us, but we've been around for 15 years. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, so you guys can check us out to feel comfortable, because there are a lot of scams, and I understand people are like, I don't feel comfortable going through a credit repair company, but we are legit for sure. Check us out on the Better Business Bureau website. We have an A+ rating, and if you have questions, you can definitely always reach out to me. I'll be glad to assist you with your process of getting things removed off of your credit report.
And how can they reach you?
They can reach me at 202-709-7187.
She did her homework, y'all.
I did.
Okay, so we talked about the hospital situation. So what about if you lose your job? Mm-hmm. What can you do to help keep the credit hounds off your door?
So it's literally the same process for whatever the situation is. We go through the same dispute process. And the great thing about it is that if they don't respond to our dispute letters within 30 to 45 days, because by law they have to, then it has to be removed. And a lot of times they don't respond, so that's how people really get lucky and have it removed. So it's just like when you get a speeding ticket. So say you got a speeding ticket and you had to go to court, and then the officer doesn't show up and they just throw it out. Right. So it's the same with the credit laws. If they don't respond back in 30 to 45 days, it gets to be thrown away off of your credit. And your credit score increases. So there's some credit laws that people aren't aware about. And that's what we're
gonna save those for another for another segment. You know, we're gonna come into that. So we might want to push that down the road a little bit.
Yeah.
Keep them listening. Keep them listening. So okay. So number 4 was one of the another reason why people are experiencing having bad credit.
Divorce and breakup.
Wow. Wow.
Divorce and breakup. So, of course, you know, when you're married or when you're in a relationship and you have bills together, a whole place of home together, it can get really ugly when you guys aren't together anymore. And especially if one person, you know, was handling more of the bills than the other, and then you move out and it just can be really bad for people. I hear so many like horror divorce stories, and it can get really bad. And then especially if you co-sign for your mate, if you co-sign and then they don't pay the bill anymore, then you're fully responsible for that debt. So if you don't have the money and your mate been paying it the whole time, they're not coming after your mate, they're coming after you too. And so that'll go on your credit.
So the old saying, "It's cheaper to keep her." It's real, huh?
Yes, it is. It's cheaper to keep her.
In more ways than one.
It is.
Because some people think about, you know, well, paying the alimony and child support. It's that credit situation too.
Yeah, yeah.
So if that goes down, how do you handle that?
So we handle it through the same dispute process, but far as when you're a co-signer, that can be a little tricky because you're still fully responsible. So some people still luck up from like the way, like if they don't respond in 30 to 45 days, it has to be removed. But even though it's removed off your credit report, you're still responsible for that debt. So they can still keep calling you, asking you for the payments. But it's just no longer hurting your credit anymore.
So basically you just answering the phone and hanging up on them.
Yes.
I told you I ain't got the money.
Get those letters.
Yeah.
So stop calling me. Well, it's my job. You ain't gotta be so rude.
Yeah.
Grow old with you too.
And some people's like, man, I'm gonna just ride this out for 7 years because people think, you know, in 7 years it'll come off. But that's a long time.
Well, you know
wait.
What? I've heard, and please, I'm glad you brought that up, Imani. So 7 years on your credit, and you could essentially they say it comes off your credit.
Right.
When I went down to the young lady that I was dealing with at the VA, she said that's not necessarily true.
Right.
So can you explain that a little bit
So,
further?
oh yeah, sure. So it does stay on your credit report for 7 years when you don't do anything about it. If you don't do anything about it, it will stay on there for 7 years. But if you dispute it, it can come off.
Well, no. Does it actually come off in 7 years, though?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's supposed to, but a lot of times they don't. But it's supposed to
That's what I
automatically fall off of your credit report. But a lot of people still, still have things on their credit report that's over 7 years, and that's when you really should dispute it because it's not supposed to be there at all.
Okay.
Am I talking in here enough?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You good. Trust me.
Okay.
All right. So we got that out the way. So for those of you who are trying to ride out 7 years.
Yeah.
I guess 7 is the lucky number in that particular case, huh?
How many 7s you get?
Yeah.
Right.
That's a long time. Don't ride it out, you guys. You could do so much more in 7 years when your credit score is good. So that's a lot of time to be wasted. That is definitely a lot of. You can use your credit score to invest in some new properties or start a new business. You could use your credit score for so many things within that 7 years and put yourself in a much better position rather than waiting, all those years. So just get it removed as soon as possible.
Even better so to call you.
Yep.
To help get it.
Call me and we are going to get you together.
All right. So that was number 5. So what's
4. That was number 4. Yeah.
Okay.
We had one more.
Okay.
One more.
So what is the last reason why people are experiencing having bad credit?
Oh, the last reason is just simply people not even caring about their credit. Some people don't care about their credit until they need their credit. And then they want to hurry up and try to fix it when it's not an overnight process, when it gets to a point where, I got my lease is up next month, I need to hurry up and get my credit fixed so I can get a new apartment, or I got into a car accident and my insurance company is not giving me the amount that I thought, so I have to go out and buy a new car, but my credit score is jacked. You never want to wait to the worst case scenario to start realizing that you need your credit score to be in good standing. So that's another reason why, because some people really don't care about their credit. They're really unaware of how much their credit is important. If it's not something that they need like right now, then they're not thinking about it. So you definitely don't want to wait to the last minute till something happens and then you're trying to find someone to co-sign for you. And people don't want to co-sign for people these days.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and it's crazy about it because it seemed like it used to happen a lot back in the day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got you. And now, I guess people are a lot more aware.
Right.
Because, it jacks up your credit.
Right.
Dealing with somebody else. And especially where the black family is nowadays, we was a lot more supportive back in the day, mm-hmm. and now you just don't see that because it's hard to put faith in someone to make sure they do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
And that's take care of themselves and make sure they don't put somebody else in a bad predicament.
Right.
So what's that, Joe?
Pay a debtor off, does it automatically fall off your?
That's a great question.
Hold on, wait a minute, Joe. Please come to the microphone with that, because I want our listeners to hear that question. Okay. You sitting back so cool.
If you pay a debtor off, does it automatically fall off of your credit report?
There you go.
That's a really great question. So the answer to that is no.
Whoa.
So.
I paid them.
Right, common sense would say, "Hey, I paid you. I'm thinking you're going to remove it off, right?" But no,
why is that?
It's okay. This is one of the most, because I get frustrated about this too, because you can pay something off of your credit report, and they're just going to update it as paid. They're not going to remove it because that's how the credit bureaus get paid. The credit bureaus get paid from having it still being on your credit report. So when they have, agreements with collection agencies to send them information to be reported on the credit reports, That's how they get paid. So they really don't want to remove it after you paid it because they have their money already from you. So why remove it? So that's how they feel about it. You
Really?
following me?
I follow you, but that's terrible.
Yeah, they're definitely not on our side. They're in it for the money for sure. But
so basically, you have to stay on top of your credit report.
You do, seriously.
So how often should you look at your credit report and make sure that it is what it should be?
Minimum once a month. Minimum once a month.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because anything can be reported on your credit report each month. Because the credit reports report stuff on a monthly basis.
Okay, so to check out your credit report, isn't there a cost to that?
So you get one free credit report with all 3 credit bureaus through.
That's a year though, right?
Yeah, once a year. So it's good to have some type of credit monitoring. So Smart Credit, they're free, but their credit scores aren't accurate, but the what they show on your credit reports are good. So you can have that or
Smart Credit.
I'm sorry. Credit Karma. Smart Credit is the service that we have, but you have to pay for that. It's $15 a month, but Credit Karma is free.
Okay.
Credit Karma is free. And I like creditchecktotal.com as well, but it's $1 to sign up, but then it's a free trial after that for like 15 days, but you have to cancel it. But if you wanted to keep it, it'll be like $15 a month or maybe $30. Depending what you have.
And that's just to check your credit report at any time you want to.
Yes.
So
or your bank may allow you to have it for free. Whatever. Some banks.
Oh, okay.
Like Bank of America, for sure, they have it free for you on their app.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that's a perk to
yes.
get into with a bank.
Credit card companies too.
Yeah, and some credit card companies. So you just would have to reach out to whoever you bank with or whoever your credit card company is with, and see if they have a free service that you can keep up, that you can monitor your credit with.
But essentially, though, it's a cost just to try to keep up with your credit.
Yes.
I mean,
it's a lot,
you know
right?
What? You know what? They say nothing in America is free. No, it ain't never lied.
Never lied.
You know, they say this America is the land of the free and the brave. What the hell is free? What is free? It costs to die?
Yep, you're right. You are so right.
I'm telling you, there's nothing free in America. You can't even check your credit that is yours.
Yep.
There's a cost associated with that.
Yep.
This is terrible.
It is very terrible.
Well, any more bad news?
Yeah. I do want to piggyback on his question, though. So whenever... far as paying, if you pay something off, will it be removed from your credit report? Mm-hmm. So this is the time of season where people are getting their taxes back, and the first thing they say, I'm gonna pay off this debt off my credit report.
No, that ain't what they're saying.
And
I'm trying to see. I've been trying to get this brand new car.
Take on more debt.
Right.
Well, yeah, that too. But some people are trying to pay off their debt and thinking it's going to improve their credit, but it's not. No. So I had one lady, oh my goodness, last tax season. She took $4,000 to pay off something that was on her credit report, and she was so shocked. She thought that it was going to help her be able to become a homeowner, and it didn't. And she thought that was the right thing to do, and she didn't contact me till after she had already done this. And it was so bad. I felt
what
so
advice
bad
were you giving her?
So anytime you want to pay something off, because sometimes people want to pay something off just to relieve them from that debt, them calling and things like that. So you just have to have a written agreement that in exchange of me paying his debt off, that you remove it from my credit report before you agree to paying it. So always don't say it over the phone. Don't put an online dispute. You have to have a written request through the mail. Send it to them through the mail.
Snail or email?
Snail. No,
What? Yeah, that's what he's asking. Email or physically?
Physically, the physical mail.
Really? They still do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, So before you pay off.
Well, I guess so, because the IRS is everything's through the mail.
True.
Mm-hmm.
They IRS don't send you nothing via email. It has to be physical
fax,
mail.
nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Any agreement you have with the IRS, and you can call and talk to them, but whatever agreement they set with you, it's through the mail.
Yep.
And that's why when you get these phone calls, when people say you owe us and you owe us this, it has to be. If they say they claim they're the IRS, then it's a fake organization.
Mm-hmm.
It has to come through the mail.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what. Matter of fact, a big thing, Imani, you can talk about this a little bit. It's tax season. For those of you out there, you know, getting ready to file your taxes. I noticed last year, I believe it was last year, they started giving out PIN numbers just to validate that is your tax. You know, for you to put your do your taxes. Without that PIN number, then you can't even submit your taxes, because it was so much fraud going on. And when I called them and I said, I can't find my PIN number, they said, well, we're going to have to resend you another one. I said, what? You know, and it has to come through the mail.
Right.
They're not going to tell you nothing over the phone.
Credit card company, same thing.
It has to come through the mail. So, yeah, Joe.
I just saw the other day where Capital One. I just saw the other day where Capital One, Bank of America, said they now have revolving numbers. So when you use your credit card online, your 16-digit number, it changes from time to time. So therefore, another company can't spoof or spam it and use that number. Your number is always changing. It's like, wow.
Man, they're trying all kinds of things to eliminate fraud, because identity theft is the fastest growing crime right now. Someone's identity is stolen every 2 seconds right now.
Whoa. I just got hit like that.
I did too.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's another reason why people experience bad credit, identity theft.
Well, that should have been number 6. you
Number
sleeping
6.
on us over there. Come on, y'all. And for that to be one of the biggest things that's growing right now, that should be number 1.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, man.
Shame on you.
Yep, identity theft.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, identity theft is the fastest growing crime. People not breaking in your TV. I mean, breaking in your house no more like back in the day, trying to steal your TV. They trying to steal your social to go buy a new TV. They don't want our old TVs anymore.
It's virtual. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming in today, Miss Imani, and giving us the facts on why people are experiencing bad credit problems right now. And so one more time, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
You can give me a call at 202-709-7187.
Or you can DM her.
Yes, you can DM me on Instagram, Faith to Good Credit, Faith FAITHTO, Good Credit. And follow me too.
That's right. Yeah, definitely follow. Hey, look. I said it last time she was here. Her IG be popping.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you, her IG be popping. You know, and follow her. And,
Thank you.
And she got a team with her. Tell everybody about your team.
Yeah, so I have a team. We do credit education every Wednesday for free. Every Wednesday, free here in D.C. on I Street, 211 I Street Northeast. If you guys want to come out and hear more information about your credit and how to take control of your credit. So definitely come out. When it's free, you know, they always come out to the free parties, free happy hours, free club.
Free liquor.
Come to the free education seminar.
Get some knowledge.
Yeah.
That's right. You know what? And what's sad about that, you know, the old saying is, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in the book. You know, so these sisters right here are giving you knowledge that not only is it needed, it's essential. So follow up on this. It's every Wednesday. And where's it at one more time?
211 I Street Northeast, Washington, D.C.
All right. And the time on that?
Doors open at 7 and we start at 7:30. So we give people time to, get off work and get out of traffic.
That's CPT. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And we have popcorn for you guys. We have nice, comfy theaters, chairs. You can prop your feet
Little glass
up.
of wine for the sisters. What's going on?
Yeah, sometimes we do have wine for people who like wine.
Right.
So yeah, we try to make it a comfortable setting because so many people are uncomfortable when it comes to talking about credit.
Who would be?
Right.
If they're sitting down with you, I'm sure. Why would they be comfortable?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Credit is not a sexy conversation.
That's right. You know, so now we appreciate you for coming in each and every other Thursday. So I believe I gotta look at the calendar, but I think so. I should say it's the first Thursday and the third Thursday of the month. So we're gonna wait till the first Thursday. We'll be putting out the notifications, letting y'all know what the next topic is going to be coming in. Do you know what you're going to do already?
Nope, I don't. I should have thought about that.
But that's all right. That's all right. We're going to put the promo out and get it out there. And we also going to be tagging, reposting what Miss Imani be doing. One more time, her Instagram is Faith to Good Credit. And so check her out. And we appreciate you for coming through.
I appreciate you having me.
All right. So and don't forget, check her out on Turn Up Tuesdays too. You know, so she be doing her thing on that right there. So
you really like that?
Yeah,
I love something out.
You know we are. You know we are. We're gonna make it happen. All right. So keep it locked right here. When we come back, please get in touch with Frank for me, Ali. And so we're gonna bring back the DC Legends right here. Keep y'all informed about not only how this culture got started that we call go-go, but the DC music culture, because I wanted to talk to Joe a little bit about, because my father played with Gil Scott, you know, and yeah, he played flute with Gil Scott back in the day, but that's way after what y'all was doing y'all thing, you know what I'm saying? So because Gil Scott was early to mid 70s. Right? Oh no, late 70s.
Early 70s too.
Mid 70s.
Yeah, mid 70s. Yeah. So with him and Brian Johnson.
So we're hitting it around the same time.
Yeah. Well, it was yeah. So, but he's the one that schooled me on EU and all of that back in the day. So, and the difference in how he laid my foundation with that right there. Nice. You know. So, but I want everybody, because we were sitting here talking off air about some of the old stories about how where some of these legends that play in our music, where they come from. So we're going to touch on that a little bit when we come back, all right? So keep it locked right here on the GoWin Radio Show on GoGo Radio Live, Win DC Radio, all wrapped up in GoWin.media, come to you live from the shops at Iverson. All right, that's the way it is right here.
my neighborhood. So young man, won't you please stay home, stay home. Young man, you belong. I warned you a long time ago that you didn't, I mean you're no good. I said that you wouldn't go far. Now you're back into my neighborhood. So young man, oh why don't you grow up a young man? Stop living in comfort, young man, young man. Oh, I'm gonna show you how to love that you never loved before. Gonna show you how to kiss like you never wanna kiss. Gonna show you, oh I'll show you, young man, I'll show you.
Welcome back to the GoWin Radio Show right here on GoGo Radio Live, Win DC Radio, all wrapped up in GoWin.media. Coming to you live from the shops at Iverson. And we are back with my main man, Joe Quarterman, Sir Joe, as you may know him on his records, and Sir Joe and the Free Souls. And hopefully we can get Mr. Controversial back up in here, Frank. He was really dropping some some heavy knowledge for those of you who are just now tuning into the show.
Claiming rights.
Yeah, huh?
He was asking for claiming rights.
Yeah. He wasn't claiming that the Young Sinners were the founder of go-go music, but he was. Yeah. You know, so he kind of straddled the fence right there. But a lot of people, you need to understand your history and the foundation of where things come from. Because a lot of times music evolves.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. Like I said, everybody was playing that sound. It was the DC sound.
Right.
But when they started having go-go nights, it became go-go music.
There it is. So I want to say that I was telling you, Mr. Barnes was Kenny Barnes. He was saying that they're the ones who actually started the term go-go.
Right.
The Go-Go's.
On those go-go nights.
And it derived from Smokey Robinson and the Miracles song called Going to a Go-Go.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So so with that being said,
With that being said, Smokey is the father of go-go.
Isn't that something? That's crazy, though. That's crazy. You know, so, but with that being said, like I said, we was talking about some of these musicians that that really, and this is why I really wanted to have Frank on the mic, because DC has always been a hotbed for musicians and talent, musical talent. You had one of the drummer who actually founded because the go-go beat is based off percussions.
Correct.
Period. All right. Everybody knows that, and there's no disagreement with that. All right. But your drummer, as you were telling me, was the founder for the sound.
That's right. Charles Steptoe.
Charles Steptoe.
Yeah, he started with Chuck Brown, but it was just the Soul Searchers then.
So a lot of people, including myself, I'm not going to try to twist this. We felt like our knowledge was that Rick Sugarfoot Wellman.
He was after Steptoe.
Okay, but that he was actually the founder for the groove of go-go.
No, he was several years after Steptoe. In fact, the sequence was like Steptoe, then Milton Smith, then it was...
So Milton Smith, which ended up playing with Chuck Brown several years down the road, he was playing with Chuck prior to Ricky Sugarfoot Wellman?
It was an off and on thing.
Okay.
Sugarfoot would play sometimes until he got with Miles Davis.
But what about Sugarfoot's father, though?
I don't know too much about him.
Okay, from what I understand, that his father was was Chuck's first drummer.
Could have been.
Okay.
But he didn't have the go-go beat.
Okay.
The go-go beat was started by Charles Steptoe, and that's a fact.
Okay. So I want everybody to look, because I'm gonna look it up myself. who Charles Steptoe, what was his last name?
That is his last name.
Steptoe. Okay. Okay. I thought that was a nickname like Sugarfoot. Like Sugarfoot.
He had a name to live up to.
How about that? Steptoe. And that's a great drummer name.
Yeah. And he's a great drummer. I wouldn't say it unless it was true.
Okay. So, go-go was derived, the term. You got to go? Okay. Yes. Go-go was derived mainly because of what we call the swing.
Okay.
And that's what made it kind of different from other forms of music because of the swing and the beat. And that all was derived from the drummer.
Right, from the drummer. It's an African beat, and it's sequential. It moves on, it's steady, and it requires drums, a drum trap set, as well as the congas and bongos.
And it's based off the 4, right?
Well, it's the 1 and the 4. It's like
right, the
boom,
1 and 4.
2, 3, 4. Boom, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
Boom, taka, taka, boom, boom, taka, boom, taka, taka, boom, boom, taka. It's that way.
Okay. And so back to this again, because we have to lay this foundation for our listeners, because if anything, people need to get our history. If we don't have our history right, then we all messed up as a people. So Charles Steptoe started this swing beat.
In my opinion, yes.
Okay. So, but he was prior to Sugarfoot, Ricky Sugarfoot.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but I have to make sure that that's. I'm telling you, because that's legendary. Just as Frank was talking about how the young senators actually started the go-go. You know, this is very controversial.
Yeah, it's got to be, because Steptoe came to play with me in 1970 or 71, somewhere in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And he was playing with Chuck Brown then, or the Soul Searchers.
So he's playing with you prior to playing with Chuck Brown?
Yes.
Okay.
And Chuck would come on some of our gigs sometimes, trying to steal him back.
Oh. So he was playing with Chuck first and then you grabbed him?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know whether it was a money dispute or what, but
it's always about money, you know that.
I didn't want to get into it, but
right.
Anyway, Steptoe said he was going to hang, he was going to stay with Sergio and Free Soul. So he changed the beat of my song. The song, I Got So Much Trouble in My Mind.
Mm-hmm.
It had a beat that was done by Ahmed Miller, who was a pretty much good timekeeper for R&B music.
Right.
But Steptoe had a double kick and a real funky lick, which was the go-go beat, which there was no such thing as go-go then. It was the beat.
Right.
And no one had a name for it. That's why I said he's the inventor of that beat. The double kick, double clutch, and all that.
And that's what Ricky was known for that double kick.
Yeah. Now, I don't know whether he got it from his father or got it from Chuck Brown. I mean, from Steptoe. But Steptoe was doing it first.
Okay. Okay. There you go. And so, can you tell me what was the first venue you remember him starting this swing beat?
It could have been at the Legima Ballroom, or it could have been at the 10th and U Street Oddfellows Hall, or whatever they call that place. Because back in those days, in the mid 60s, we all were playing top 40 R&B, Billboard chart music, because that's what the people wanted to hear.
Right.
But
no different from today.
Yeah, but at the end of the songs, when you had a breakdown, that's when musicians could do their own thing. They added, improvised, and so forth. And as they improvised, they kind of kept that steady beat, which over time became the go-go beat. Going from one song to the next song, extending the vamp, that's the ending of a song that's continuous.
How much of an influence did James Brown have in what you did?
Well, you can't do anything funky without stepping on James Brown's toes. It's just that simple.
Let me tell you why I asked you that question. Because when I was growing up,
yeah,
if it wasn't well, James was before Parliament. But everybody always said that James was the starter of the funk sound. Is that true?
Yeah, from my knowledge, yes.
And because there was a lot of bands that played funk.
I mean, James Brown had the super funk. You
Okay.
know, he was phenomenal, and his licks were new to us. I mean, if you go back to Africa, you can find a lot of these beats are not new; they're in our DNA. But James Brown brought it up, no question.
and he had, from what I understand, James is another one who went to go find the best talent possible to put in his band. How many people that you know of from DC that played with James?
I don't know many. I know one drummer, Philly. He was with James during the mid '60s. I think he played drums with him when he did the live at the Apollo.
Okay.
That was the first time he used two drummers.
Isn't that when Bootsy came with them?
No, this live at the Apollo was recorded in '63 or something.
Oh, you talking about the album?
Yeah,
okay.
'64.
Okay. Yeah, Bootsy came after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mousy wanted to play with me. He wanted me to fire Steptoe and give
Really?
him the gig. I told him I couldn't fire Steptoe. He was my main drummer. And right after that, that's when Mousy went with James Brown. I met James Brown at the Apollo. We were performing there. James Brown came and looked me up and down, said, "What is this guy made of? How could he have be as funky as me?" Because there had been some write-ups saying that Joe Quarterman's "I Got So Much Trouble" is as funky as anything James Brown had ever did. So he wanted to meet me.
Really?
Yes. He invited me to come to Georgia to play at his club, but before we could play there, it got burned down.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So we played on the gig for 3 nights at the amphitheater here, Carter Barron, and we talked. And one of the things he said to me is, "Not what you say, is what you play." Meaning, because my songs were mostly social conscience, I needed to put more funk into it as opposed to sending out a message. That's how I took it anyway. But I said most of my songs are social conscious songs, but they still have that funky beat.
Why do you feel like you needed to be socially conscious?
Well, it was requested by my producers. They heard the song. Yeah. They heard the song, "I Got So Much Trouble in My Mind," and they said, "Well, what troubles do you have in your mind?" So I said, "Well, I got a stack of songs I've written. You pick the best ones that you think will make the album." So we had a song called "The Trouble with Trouble," "The Way They Do My Life," "Find Yourself," "Live Now, Brothers," "I Feel Like This," "I'm Gonna Get Me a Friend," and "I Made a Promise." Those were the songs that were on my first album. I had a song called "No Time for Dreaming," and they turned that one down for that first album. And it was recorded the past 5 years by a guy named Charles Bradley, blues singer. And the song was in the top 10 on the blues charts all around the world. I said, they turned down a song I wrote that was socially conscious, meaning no time for dreaming, as Dr. Martin Luther King says, "I have a dream." And I'm saying I don't have time for dreaming. I got to get up and do my thing.
There it is.
And
that sounds like some James Brown.
That's the context of the song.
Right.
I got no time for dreaming. I got to get on up, do my thing. It went like that.
There it is. There it is. I really, really appreciate you coming through, and I appreciate Adi for bringing you through. This has been eye-opening for me because
I'm glad you liked it.
Oh, not like it. I mean, just for me, like I'm a historian buff.
Okay.
You know, and I love knowing the real history, not his story, but our story.
Okay.
You know, and for those who've been in it, and especially DC culture, you know, that's important to me, because it's being marred right now. What's going on in the city? I believe personally that we have nobody to blame but ourselves, because we are our own worst enemy. You know, we can't get out of our own way. You know.
Well, it depends on what you're alluding to. I mean, we all have representatives, city representatives like mayors, councilmen,
Yes,
this, that, and other.
but I mean, at the end of the day, you have a mirror, and you owe nothing to nobody but who's in that mirror. And if you can't do right by that mirror, then you're not doing right by anybody else.
That's
you know?
true.
And so a lot of times we don't do right by ourselves, and then it matriculates on down, you know, to the household, the wife, the kids, your neighborhood, you know, and then we end up pointing the finger at somebody else, saying that they are the cause for our problems.
That's what they always say.
When at the end,
The devil made me do it.
Yeah, how about that? The devil in the mirror. The devil's in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know, but you can exercise that devil by just getting to know yourself better. You know, and that's just me. I'm not trying to preach.
Everybody have their own opinion about what's holding them down.
Yeah,
even
of
though
course.
it's an excuse, but what are you going to? You have people of all.
Yeah, but I mean, all
types.
And you're 100% right on that. All I'm saying on that is facing those evils, as you may call them, you know, is half the battle right there.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Gotta face up.
Before you can go outside and start talking about what's wrong with this and what's wrong with that, you have to take care of what's, like I said, in that mirror.
That's true.
You know, so that's where I'm at on it. Some people think I'm crazy, and that's fine. That's fine. All I can worry about is what the people in my household worry about, you know, and I go from there. So,
do you think some of the problem is in the music?
Not just the music, it's the media, period. And anything involved with the media. But see, we don't control the media. We can control what our youth are listening to some extent. But I mean, unless they up underneath you all day, every day, you know, and not just what you're listening to, what you're watching, what you're reading. Media is in many different forms, you know. And
But if I remember Go-Go, they wouldn't even play it on the radio. They had boom boxes,
right,
and all kind of stuff
It's
like
just
that. They made it what it is today.
Well, they don't play go-go on the radio today because go-go doesn't conform, and in that aspect, it makes it a good thing to some and a bad thing to others, because people wonder why we can't be nationwide or why we can't travel and go around the world, but things have changed nowadays. You don't have to conform to radio in order for you to be heard around the world.
That's right.
Things are different, way different nowadays. So the way I look at it is, well, look, if you take care of your business in-house and put together a good sound in music, you know, professional sound, you'll be found and heard. Yeah. And then with the outlets of social media right now, you can be found and heard a lot quicker than you could previously.
Yeah. Well, I brought up the boombox thing because what they did with the boombox was play it out loud so that other people could hear it,
right,
and they got turned on. But they could do the same thing with social media.
Yeah.
Put the go-go or whatever on social media and send it around the world.
Yeah.
Which some of it has gone around the world.
Yeah, most definitely.
I know when I was in Germany, I heard some. I said, who is that? This was a local group. They were Germans, but they had heard the go-go.
Oh, and they flipped it?
They had it on their boombox, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Skateboards and all that kind of stuff.
So these are some Europeans that was playing our music?
Absolutely.
Wow. How about that?
But it wasn't like big. It was just between those kids.
Right. Well, that's where it starts, because if the youth ain't taking to it, then it's not going to be taken at all. You know,
so I say that to say that's probably the only way it's going to be flourished around the world.
No doubt.
The young people have to
That's
put
right.
it on their social media.
That's right.
And send it around the world.
That's right. No doubt. Youth is what pushes it all, and that's why the media is so dangerous, because the media is really derived to reach the youth.
It's controlled.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's controlled by the owners.
Yes, sir.
Of these networks, these stations.
Yeah, and they smart about what they're doing. Everything is centered around trying to reach the youth and turn their thinking to what they need it to be in order for them to flourish financially.
Right, what they want it to be.
Yeah, yeah. So once again, we done went over a little bit right here. So we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. Once again, we appreciate my main man Frank Hooker for calling in today. I really wish he could have called in again, because we got a lot. I mean, but we're gonna try to get y'all back in here. You know, if you don't mind. You know.
I don't mind. I just want to have one request, and that is you broadcast your fans to play or listen to "Thanks Dad" by Sergio and Free Soul around Father's Day.
Okay.
That way I can say "Thanks Dad" for you if you may not want to say it yourself.
Okay. That's in June, so we can definitely do that. And I'm glad to hear that, because there's so many Mother's Days tributes.
Right.
You know, we need to really look at our men, our black men, because we're being beat down right now.
That's true.
You know, while the sisters are saying "Me Too," you know, and it's an upliftment movement with that right now. Prior to that, black men have been beat down in a way to where our women are being used, I believe, being used to hold us down to the extent to where our men are feeling, you know, lack of pride, self-pride, and a lot of times they use that to strike out against our women, you know, and anger and
frustration.
Yeah, and it's sad. That's sad like that, because we should be in this together. You know, black men and black women have been held down together. It wasn't done separately. We came over here together. You know, and so the psychological aspect of it is, well, you know what? We're going to put the woman up over you. We're going to give them work positions up over you. You know, keep you frustrated and whatnot.
That's true to some extent. But for someone to put something above, the person who's receiving it must receive it as though they are above.
That's true.
I mean, you can't. Women can't be.
But that has been the case.
Then the women wanted it that way.
But that has been the case, though. You know, that has definitely been the case. So I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in to the GoWin Radio Show. Tune in each and every Tuesday and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll check you out next Tuesday right here at 11 a.m. My partner in crime will be here, Miss Lady, no doubt about it. Miss Lady, I want to shout out to you. I hope everything's going all right with you and you handling your business. Also, make sure you tune in tonight. Tonight we have, it's Thursday night, we got Cooling with Carter right here on Win DC Radio from 6 to 8 p.m. And 8 to 10 p.m. we got the Cookout with Pastor Q. And don't forget tomorrow, Friday, we got the Rush Hour Power with DJ Batman 4 to 6 p.m. on GoGo Radio. All right? So appreciate you all from tuning in. And we're going to get ready to get up out of here with our closeout song. And once again, we thank you, Mr. Quarterman, for coming in. And, of course, my man, Ali Brown, for doing his thing. All right? God bless. Y'all have a great weekend. Oh, Jesus Christ. Please forgive me. And I cannot forget about the queen right here, the queen of good credit, who's sitting right here with me, Miss Imani. We thank you for coming in. Please don't slap me down.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, yes. I'm so sorry. Yes, she gave great information as she always does. And you know what I'm gonna start doing? I'm about to start putting you on my IG, and we're gonna start putting IG clips of your information up.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you look kind of mad at me right now.
No.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No.
Yes, I almost. She's sitting right next to me.
Look, I forgot the sixth reason why.
Okay. Yeah. Touche.
Look.
Touche. There we go. There we go. All right.
It's okay. Even more to do when to come again.
Yeah.
There you go. So y'all have a blessed weekend, and y'all take care. Peace.
for her. And I ain't seen her all night.
Well, kid, hold it down, five.
This one right here, though. Special dedication going out to GoGoRadio.com. Ego, the GoGoologist. Yeah, yeah. This is Stormy Saturday. Stormy Saturday. Rainy Saturday.
Good seeing you, Wee.
Yeah. Also, Miss Tracy, special request. Pick out your afro, put on your high heel shoes, put on your fancy clothes. You're headed to the go-go. Forget about your 9 to 5. Leave all that stress behind. 'Cause baby, it's Saturday night. We're headed to the go-go. 5 whole days has passed. It's Saturday at last. Call my crew, just a few, and they know exactly what to do. Sister, the night is young. I'm a party till I see the sun. Dance all night, mesmerized by the music. Pick out your afro, put on your high heel shoes, put on your fancy clothes. Headed to the go-go. Forget about your 9 to 5. Leave all that stress behind. It's been Saturday night. We're headed to the go-go. My girls are at the party. They're sipping on Bacardi. The lines are long, they always on the side. Most of them have boyfriends, making that they're single. To enjoy myself is the reason why I come. Come on, y'all, pick out your afro, put on your high heel shoes, put on your fancy clothes. You're headed to the go-go. Forget about your 9 to 5. Leave all that stress behind. 'Cause baby, it's Saturday night. We're headed to the go-go. Ooh, that's my song. My body's moving to the dance floor, partying on its own. Partying like we've never done before. It's plain to see. My body's moving to the beat and it's killing me. There's no place I'd rather be. Pick out your afro, put on your high heel shoes, put on your fancy clothes. You're headed to the go-go. Forget about your 9 to 5. Leave all that stress behind. 'Cause baby, it's Saturday night. We're headed to the go-go. Yeah. What's up, E? We're headed to the go-go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Big city of dreams, y'all.
We're headed to the go-go. Yeah, 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 yeah. We're headed to the go-go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.